Hello, YouTube, and welcome to the FPL PubCast, the weekly live stream where we preview every game week. Well, hopefully every game week. May miss a couple in over the next few weeks with all the double games. Joining me tonight, where we're going to be discussing when the free hit, looking back how we got on in game week 12. One of us is on a free hit, so we're going to have a look at Charlie, FPL Meerkat, his team, and just have a general chat about our fixtures next week and our transfer plans. So joining us for his podcast debut is a very big name on Twitter, I think it's fair to say, and former YouTuber, I'm not sure. FPL Meerkat, Charlie, how you doing, mate?
Really good, thank you, Gary. Yeah, pleasure to be on here. We obviously talked about me coming on back in August, and yeah, it's great to finally have the time and finally be on. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's good to have you on, mate. And a almost as lesser sight than Charlie, it seems, on this channel, the ghost of the FPL PubCast. He flies around at night and sneaks up behind us. Roberto, how you doing, my friend?
Good to have you on. All good. Good to be back on. Just it's been a minute, but happy to always come on whenever the occasion requires it, calls for it. And good guest on tonight. Charlie's top guy in the community, so yeah, really excited for this one. It's going to be good fun to dive back in and look ahead to game week 13.
And of course, my great friend and co-host, the irresistible Nick Trig. How you doing, mate?
Hello. Yeah, great. Just been for a run, all woken up and ready to go.
It's when you have your thoughts. Maybe we'll discuss, if we got time, we'll discuss your, I should have put that in the slides, your video from yesterday.
I took that off. I got so much abuse for it.
Oh, really?
It wasn't very popular suggestion.
Maybe we won't discuss it then. It was no point. It was less points for subs, Charlie. That was the video.
Oh.
Interesting. It was a week when everyone had loads of points for subs, so the idea didn't go down well. On a week when they'd all got 0 off their bench, it might have been a bit more receptive to it.
Yeah. But before we start, let me just say hello to people in the chat. So we've got Hippie, hello mate, Greg, FPL Marcello is here. Is it Marcello or Marcello?
Marcello, yeah.
Marcello, who will be joining us sometime before Christmas. And I hope you had a good birthday, mate. So it's birthday over there. To Proj, and I will remind people, or this reminds me to see Proj. Proj did an excellent YouTube X's Spaces with the world number 3 the other night, and he wanted me to plug that. So do go and check out. Feel free to share it, Proj, if you want to, in the chat. And the world number 3 also will be joining us tomorrow night, me and Trig. He's on wildcard to have a look at his team. Hi to Claire, hi to Paul, hi to Kanji, Blue Mind, and Cortex. Hello, everyone. So, right, let's begin by doing a little bit of admin as usual. So, as usual, all of the podcast streams, the ones we do on Wednesday night, for November, the money we make will be going to charity to Mind, who do a lot of great work for mental health in the UK, and Street Child United, who do a lot of good work with homeless children globally. You can also find links to both charities in the descriptions below. Please join if you really want to. Subscribe, hit notifications, and all that good stuff if you are new around here. All right, so we go through the teams in chronological order of how badly we did last week, and I'm afraid to say, Nick, you're bottom of the pole this week, which, considering you got a green arrow,
what do you mean?
You're bottom of the pole.
The same amount of points as you.
No, I got 2 more than you. So Trig is on 46 points, up to his rank is now 454k. He didn't update that. And his team is Sanchez 6, Lacroix 11, Virgil 3, Senesi 3, Rodon 3, Saar 3, Fernandez 2, Saka 4, Ndiaye 3, Thiago 4, and Haaland captain 4. Talk us through it, Trig. You're happy small green, was it in the end?
Yeah, I wasn't too happy because it started off really great, and like Thiago got a goal, and The game's finished. Sanchez was on 8 points, and then they took his bonus points away. Lacroix was on DEFCONs, and they took his DEFCONs away. And then Thiago went and missed his second penalty, and so it went from 13 points to 4 points. But overall, I feel like I've got away with one a little bit because Cunha, who I bought in, didn't play. So I was very exposed against Bumo in that last game. I mean, if Bumo had got a couple of goals, it could have been a terrible week. But I think I'm a bit below the rest of the content creator community this week. Although it's a green arrow, most people seem to have over 50 points.
Yeah, me.
But pretty happy with the team.
Yeah. Is there any update on Cunha? Is it like if he's going to be missing more matches or?
No, I don't know. If he is, I'll be playing a free hit. Any problems with this team this week, and the free hit will be coming out.
Okay. Interesting. Roberto, it's been a while since we've had you on. What's your thoughts on this Thiago? Trig loves him. He's the golden goat in his opinion. What's your thoughts on him?
Yeah, he's been definitely one of the standout strikers in FPL this season. He, I think, was a bit unfairly ignored for a lot of time because of the whole, he came in as Tony's replacement, then got injured straight away, and we didn't really see enough of him to sort of get excited about him. But he's been really impressive, and that penalty duty with Mbeumo going to Man United is obviously a big swing towards his favour. But he's outside of that done really well from open play also, and Brentford are those sort of teams where that they're always going to give it a go offensively, and they've got a very sort of reliable rate of scoring, especially at home. So he's been a really good investment, and I think him and Haaland have been sort of the two standout strikers really this season so far, and I think it makes sense to sort of go with those two, and then sort of any other money you can save in your third slot is probably warranted because of how well the midfielders have been doing. So it's fair play. Thiago has been a good one. I'm not sure quite how I haven't got him, but for those that do, he's definitely been worth the time. Yeah.
Charlie, can I wrap? Sorry, click on it.
I was just saying it was a shame he missed that penalty because after this week, he's not going to. The points aren't going to have such an impact because everybody's going to have him, aren't they? You need to get your points quite early in FPL before everybody else gets on the bandwagon.
I was going to ask you because we were talking before we went live. You're now your Twitter is a lot of team predictions. Is that right?
Yeah, I do predicted lineups every week.
Yeah. What do you reckon? Because I don't think I've got them in any other sites. What do you reckon? Because of course, this time next week, basically, we have midweek games. What do you reckon the rotation risk is for the likes of? I've got Richards, but also people are saying possibly Munoz might be benched at the weekend. Have you heard that one? Or get booked so he misses the Burnley match.
Oh yeah. So if Munoz gets booked, he's on 4 yellows, so he'll be suspended for the next one. Munoz is a rare kind of player that he's never benched. He's never benched. He's absolutely flogged for all of his minutes. So he's just completely nailed. He has absolutely no rotation risk. Richards is an interesting one because Palace do have another centre-back that they can play. They play 3 centre-backs, but they've got, I can't remember his name, like Canvot or something like that. I can't actually remember his name. He has occasionally come in for the European fixtures. So I'd be reluctant to say Richards is nailed, but I think he's very much favoured, I would say. Lacroix and Gay, he seemed to play all the time, but Richards maybe a bit of doubt.
Yeah, he's one that I think I'm going to have to monitor going into next week or the next couple of game weeks. So let's move on. Second on the list is of awfulness. Well, not awfulness. We're on green arrows. Is myself. I'm on 48 points, up to 333k. Petrovic 1, Timber 5, Anderson 10, Senesi 3, Richard 6, Saka 4, Fernandes 2, Minter 11, Mbeumo 1, Haaland 4, captain, Mateta 1. So yeah, it was a bit of a similar to Nick. It's a small green arrow for me, but it was sort of a case of, if anyone watched the reaction stream we did on Saturday, I sold Enzo who obviously got 11 points, and bought in Burmo, who only got 1 point. So that obviously wasn't great. The Gabriel to Anderson move, which was the second part of a 2-part move, obviously worked out fine. So yeah, it's just a bit. I think I made a members video the other day, Russ. I think I've got 2 green arrows in a row, which are really tiny, and it feels bad. But I was kind of said in my members video, when a lot of people are having a bad game week, if you're just getting a tiny green arrow, it's not really a bad sign. You know what I mean? It's probably shouldn't moan about getting a small green. Would you agree with that, Nick?
Yeah, except I don't know anyone who has had a red arrow this week.
Okay.
The engaged managers all seem to have had a green arrow. So the only people we've overtaken are like the ones on the slide from early season. But 48's okay though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just about. I mean, the main thing is I've still got 3 free transfers. So
considering any green arrow, I think when your captain blanks is a good green arrow, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Charlie, what? We'll get onto your team in a minute. Who did you? What was your thoughts when Gabriel went out? Were you a one who was flocking towards Van Dijk, or were you someone who wanted to save a bit of money?
Well, I'm a Liverpool fan, and I saw all the flocking towards Van Dijk, and I was thinking, I don't get it. I know the fixtures are turning, but I've watched our defense this entire season, and it has just been poor. It has been so poor this season, and I was thinking, it doesn't really matter if the fixtures are turning if we're just conceding chances constantly every single game. I haven't really checked the stats. I don't know if the stats are showing that, but from watching the games, we've just been conceding massively. So Van Dijk was kind of out of the picture for me. It was either going to be Timber just to continue on the double defense, because I thought now Gabriel's injured, people are going to be moving off of double Arsenal defense, and yet they are still absolutely miles clear at the top for being the best defense. So I thought it was potentially a good time it almost be differential to have double Arsenal defense. But I instead, as you'll see in my team, I ended up going for Anderson instead to fund getting Saka, because I didn't have Saka in my team, which fortunately worked out the way that I didn't expect it to work out. But yeah, that's what I ended up doing.
Yeah. Roberto, I haven't got this person later in the side as well. This is all, sort of open to all of you, but is there any news on Semenyo yet? And Roberto, to you specifically, mate, do you reckon even if he is there's an argument to sell him now? They've only got another good fixture, 1 or 2 good fixtures before they hit a hard run, haven't they?
Yeah, it's a tricky one with Semenyo because of how well he's done. I mean, personally, I've been so loyal with him that I struggle to
game week 1, haven't you?
Yeah, since game 1. So I struggle to take him out because of just how well he's done. And yeah, as you say, the fixtures are starting to dry up a little bit. But I look around at other options, at his price point, and I'm not massively enthralled. So I think it's maybe wait and see a little bit, get a bit more info and see what the prognosis is. Because I think when there was sort of rumours of Semenyo's injury, and then we were like, well, maybe he's not injured. He proposed, and you think, okay, is this just him trying to cover up an injury? But yeah, the fact that he didn't play at the weekend does make you think, okay, that there might be something here that we should sort of watch out for. So I don't think we should make any hasty decisions yet, and probably just get the latest update on him, and then go from there, really, because
there hasn't been anything any of you guys have seen.
Not a lot, to be honest. I don't think. So it's probably just wiser to wait and see with that one. But yeah, I think he's definitely a transfer that could be made, but I don't feel like it's a necessity necessarily.
No, fair enough. So next team up is Roberto, who did a little bit better than us too. He got 52 points. Although your ranking's a little bit higher, Roberto. You were up like 400k, I think, last time you were on, but it's still in the top million, 928k. Team is Pope 3, Gavardio 1. I forgot how to say his name. Lacroix 11, Senesi 3, Neto, interesting one, 8, Gapco 2, Rice 6, Minter 11, Vortemoda 2, Teta 1, and another Haaland captainer. Yeah, what's been going on, Roberto, with your team since last time you were on, mate?
Yeah, so to be fair, I've taken the sort of quite patient approach. In previous seasons, I tend to be quite aggressive with my transfers and sometimes take hits, and sort of if I get, almost stuck in a bit of a rut of looking at my team and not liking it, then I'm not usually that I'm not that unwilling to change things and take some hits. But this season, I've just been a bit more patient and kept players for longer. The timing of my transfers, though, has been a bit off this season. So, like, for instance, I got rid of, I think I got rid of Bowen. No, I brought in Bowen the week that he blanked and sold someone who scored that week, and I think I brought in Voltemada for Bowen. And that week, Bowen outscored him, and they were playing each other. So yeah, my sort of transfer luck has been a little bit slow this season, but I've been sort of making transfers where I feel I need to, not sort of overthinking it too much. So last week, I brought in Lacroix for Gabriel because as you were saying, Charlie, I didn't really rate the Liverpool defence with how they've been this season. And thought, a bit of the Palace defence. I considered an Arsenal defender, but I just thought Palace, they're very solid. And I didn't want to go Munoz because everyone had him. So I just thought Lacroix, he tends to pick up quite a lot of DEFCON and he's a pretty sturdy option. Pretty happy with that as a replacement. And then Neto, Neto I've had for a few weeks now. Was pretty happy with him the last few weeks. And I think I benched him the week he got a goal the other week, so it was nice to at least have his points count this week. But yeah, all in all, pretty happy with it. I don't feel it's one of those things that I don't feel in a rush to use my chips yet, and I still have only used the wild card so far. But obviously, I have to use them at some point before game week 19. But it's sort of making that decision of when the best time is because. As you can see on my bench, it's a little bit weak. So it's not really been in a position to bench boost yet. Another wild card would be great, to be fair, but unfortunately I've used it. So it's working out, where I make those changes. But yeah, feeling all right about it. I think it's just been sort of the slow and steady, tortoise beating the hare approach from me this season. And it's not been fantastic, but it's also not been terrible. So yeah, sort of willing to be patient with this season so far.
Charlie, obviously you're on free hit this week. If you had the other chips, where would you be thinking of using the triple captain? And I guess bench boost difficult to say, isn't it?
I think triple captain's a heavy consideration this week. Haaland home to Leeds.
That's true.
I think the other one I've been looking at is 17. I think Haaland's home to West Ham. I think those would be the only two opportunities I'd look at. I think I can't really look past Haaland for triple captain. I don't really trust Salah or Saka enough to scores that Haaland seems to be getting. And I think he plays Sunderland, but again, Sunderland just seem pretty decent. I don't see a game against Sunderland as the same level as the other one. So yeah, I think 13 and 17 on Haaland would be the two that stand out to me.
Trig, what do you reckon to Roberto's team? It's been a while since he's been on here. It's been a while since you've been able to give your insight into our Roberto's team.
It looks good. He's taking Chalobah out. Why is he taking Chalobah out?
So
you would have done well with Chalobah.
I had a really good start with him, and then I just sort of wasn't feeling it for a few weeks, so made the move quick. And to be fair, I think I took him out the week he scored an own goal or something. So it worked out that week. But yeah, more recently it's gone good again. So yeah, you can't have them all, I suppose. But I still feel pretty sort of happy with most of the defense. I think maybe Gvardiol could probably leave at some point soon. But it's who I bring in, probably an Arsenal defender most likely.
Neto's an interesting one too. He was fantastic last night when we beat Barcelona. He was superb leading the line. So we might see a bit more of that with him playing as kind of a striker almost.
It's a great pick.
They were so fluid last night, but they don't get those kind of games in the Premier League so much. Like Barcelona let them play, whereas the likes of Arsenal and that aren't going to let Chelsea play. I mean, You can't take Chelsea on and then open end to end like that because you're going to get smashed when they got Garnacho and Neto and Estevao and all those. So, yeah, probably not great this week. This might be the week for you to use your free hit.
Yeah, a few people have said that in the chat.
Yeah, I see a lot of people mentioning that, but as Charlie just mentioned, I mean, I have got a few people talking about Liverpool players on a free hit. I have got Gakpo there if I need it. I mean, the minutes have been a concern recently, but I think triple captain. It feels hard to ignore this week just because of how Leeds have been defensively, and with the home fixture as well.
Oh, of course,
it's tempting. It's very tempting. So I wish I could do both in 1 week, but I can't. So yeah. The problem is with a lot of the players in my team, I'm not sure if me free hitting solves them. It'll probably some of these players will still be an issue next week. So it's whether I sort of take a few hits, triple captain, and then that sort of gets me in better stead next week, or go for the free hit. I'm not quite sure, but it's going to be
maybe just use a transfer and triple captain. Probably the best, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do, but it's whether because the thing is, I look at as well free hitting, game week 14, for instance, being, I think so that might be a midweek round of games, or maybe I'm thinking of game week 16. But yeah, I think coming up, there's a midweek, round of games. So those for free hits, I feel a bit more sort of scared about, because you're like, well, you could have a decent team, then free hit and pick loads of players that start getting rotated. So it kind of makes you a bit more sort of cautious using that chip. But yeah, this could well be the week for free hit if I feel I've got too many sort of fires to put out at once.
There's a lot more good weeks to free hit though than there are good weeks to triple captain. I think any week's good to free hit. I don't see anything special about this week. It's just that everybody's doing it, aren't they?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, a lot of people are on free hit talking about Triple City, Liverpool, maybe Aston Villa, but with a lot of these, you're not sure. Like Liverpool's form, even though it's a good fixture against West Ham, like the Man City game, sure, but outside of that, there's not a lot that sort of screams out to me on a free hit. So it's whether I sort of hold fire on that just to sort of assess those teams a bit more.
What was that look there, Charlie? You had a bit of a strange look there, mate.
Oh, that's exactly what I'm doing, isn't it? With a free hit all those teams. So
right, yeah, fair point.
People doing this is me.
Okay, so let's look at Charlie's team, who's top of pile this week. Very, very big defensive scoring week. So Charlie is 2.6 million, 59 points this week. Raya with 2, Munoz 14, Caliber 6, Anderson 10, Tarkowski 8, Ndai 3, Saka captain 8, Fernandez 2, Sarr 3, Mateta 1, Haaland 2. Yeah, talk us through it, mate, and how your season has been going in general, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at it now, I did not realise that every single return this week was from the defence.
That's huge.
I didn't actually realise I didn't get a single return in the attack. Yeah, some little points, I guess. At least he outscored Haaland. I mean, Munoz has been probably my player of the season, to be honest. He's been absolutely amazing. He makes me glad that despite the addition of DEFCONs, we still have our attacking fullbacks that do well. He gives me relief in this, that it's not all completely changed. Anderson was my transfer in, for Gabriel. That was a real big stroke of luck, just because that price point was what I wanted, and he seemed like he had the best fixture this week, so I just got him, and that was pretty lucky. I got Tarkowski off the bench, which was a huge slice of luck. If anyone sees my team regularly on Twitter, you'll know that I have the worst bench luck out of anyone in the FPL scene. I have a return on the bench every single week, and I've never once gotten a return off the bench. So this was the first time ever that I'd gotten a return from the bench from a player who didn't play. And it was quite fortunate because I should have probably put Krupi first bench, given if Semenyo didn't play, Krupi would have started. I did think that and just completely forgot to do it and got lucked out massively with Tarkowski's 8 points. And then Chalobah's just been ticking along nicely with some clean sheets. The rank, I mean, it has been by far my worst season so far. I just had awful, I'm someone that will admit when I've made bad decisions, and I do make bad decisions. But I had the worst luck ever at the start of the season. I just had every player who didn't do well. I had Wirtz, Salah, Watkins, Rodgers, Palmer. I think Bowen was blanking as well. I had double Forest defence. It was an absolute nightmare at the start of the season. I then wildcarded and it didn't get any better. I was at about 8 million, I think, by game week 4. So I've just been slowly trying to climb back up. And yeah, I mean, I look back on it and I know that, I know there's templates and I know people will have like algorithm teams, but for me, FPL will always be about the players that I pick and about having fun. And I'm still having fun. I'm having a great time climbing back up the ranks. But yeah, it's been easily my worst ever start to a season, but I'm still trying to find little pockets of like, this was actually my second best week, I think, this week, my second best game week rank so far. So
yeah, it's a lot higher than that. What you do the content creators update on your channel? Where would you say like the average mean median rank is to like the top content creators?
Most of them are inside the top million now, I think. It's probably the average would probably be about 800,000 or something like that.
Okay.
There's a couple doing really well. I think Andy's doing quite well, isn't he? And Focal's doing all right. But there's still quite a few of them ranked in the millions.
I can tell you actually, because I'm in the league. So there's 82 of us, and I'm 72nd. So I'm pretty low down. I've been very close with Andy Martin, but he's now shot ahead of me thanks to because he had Eze this week. He's now shot ahead of me. So that's roundabout.
I've got to give a shout out to Shane who comes on the channel. I feel sorry for me. I feel sorry for myself selling Endo. He sold Eze and bought in Saar.
Ooh.
Which is like painful. But that's the sort of thing that makes you just want to quit. Is what?
Horribly unlucky, honestly. I mean, if you had Eze, fair play for the patience as well. But I mean, getting a hat trick is insane. I think he only had like 4 shots as well. So yeah, don't beat yourself up too much if you sold Eze. It was like completely out of nowhere.
Could I tempt you, Roberto, with an Eze? Answering?
I mean, he looked great in the Tottenham game. It's just whether or not, it's worth going for him going forward. Because with Arsenal players, like you want a bit of each of their sort of positions. Really, you want a bit of their defense, you want a bit of their attack. I think with Arsenal, we know they're the favourites, and for good reason because of how impressive they've been. It's just there are a few options that in midfield I think are tempting me, and whether Eze sort of overrules some of them, I'm not sure. But yeah, obviously for those that went for him last week, fair play, and the fixtures for Arsenal aren't terrible. So yeah, I think Eze could well be, if you're free hitting, for instance, he could be one that sneaks in potentially, just because of the sort of feel good factor of that last game.
Okay, let's move on to just have a bit of an overview of the what's coming up basically over the next. Well, how many more weeks we've got to mid-season? 7, basically, isn't it? So of course we got a midweek game next week. So the first thing I was going to ask you guys is, I mean, Charlie, obviously we know you're on free hit, but when do you think the general best time to free hit would be? And I know a lot of that is dependent on your team. I mean, I'll say from my point of view, I was thinking about doing it this week, but I sold a Chelsea and an Arsenal player this week. And I've also got free transfers, which will have to be used up by game week 16 when we get the 5 AFCON transfers. So I'm actually thinking now of putting it all the way back to game week 18 or 19 and just keeping it in my back pocket, as it were, just in case something comes up with injuries or team news. Trig, you got any? I mean, you've still got yours, haven't you? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm just going to keep mine until a week where I've got a few issues. I mean, if Cunha or anybody doesn't play this week, I'll use it this week. I've run every single week through solo and that, and it doesn't appear to be a huge difference whenever you play it. I quite like the look of game week 15. Newcastle at home to Burnley appeals to me. You've got Man City at home to Sunderland. Man United have got Wolves. And Brighton are home to West Ham. And I don't own any Brighton, getting Minte in for that. Getting Newcastle players, I don't have any of them. And I could put a really different team to the one I have now in game week 15 that I think could do quite well. So that's kind of my new favourite at the moment. And then, of course, the next week we get all our free transfers.
You got many transfers to get rid of before, 15 if you're free, I guess.
No, I'm only on the bare minimum.
Do you?
But I do like the look of that 15.
Yeah.
Leeds and Liverpool as well. So that's another great fixture. So I think you could make a really good... I mean, this week everyone's picking the same team, aren't they? They're all free hitting on the same week and they're all picking the same team. And I think the reason it's so popular is because it's been pushed by a few content creators and everybody's it's like a snowball effect, isn't it? And the more that do it, the more it makes others want to do it because they start becoming fearful of having a different team to the one that's being pushed on Twitter and that. So I'm just going to play my own game and play it whenever, I think.
Yeah, I was going to do a quick poll. Are you free hitting this week? See how many people. I had a look on Fantasy Football Scout earlier, and I think it was 30% on free hit. It might have even been slightly more than that. 30% on triple captain, and then a couple of wild cards and that. That's going to be about, if that, I don't know how accurate it is. That's like 60% of people on Kip this week. Does that worry you? Well, Roberto, if you weren't playing one, would that worry into you?
Yeah, this is the thing. Is do we make decisions based on that sort of FOMO factor? Because as you're saying, a lot of people are looking at this week, but it is very team dependent, I think, and it's also dependent on what chips you already used. If you've already used a triple captain, it probably makes more sense to free hit this week, and maybe if you want to, hold that free hit for a future week, then you could use another chip. So it's tricky, but yeah, I suppose as it gets closer to the deadline and we see more and more teams activating the free hit, ones where we didn't expect them to, it might push people towards it. But ultimately what you've got to look at, I think, on a free hit is how many teams do you trust that have got good fixtures. And there are two decent options with game week 13 with Man City facing Leeds and Liverpool West Ham, but I equally think it's not too far away if you look at 15 or 16 with some of those options. Arsenal having Wolves, Brentford, who've been good at home with Leeds, Chelsea with Everton. Like there's some good fixtures to target there in other weeks. So I get why people are pushing 13, but I think it's maybe a little bit too sort of skewed in 13's favour because there are plenty of other good weeks to use it too. So I think it's just, do you trust the likes of Villa against Wolves and Liverpool away to West Ham to sort of get you those returns? If you do, then I think definitely worth going for it.
Can I raise a counterpoint there, Roberto, just quickly? If you're free hitting to get in players from teams that you trust with good fixtures, wouldn't you just want to own their players? Wouldn't you just want to play them? Well,
but it might be too much like work to change your team from, especially if you're struggling, which my team has been recently, of making so many changes at once for good players because you might just not own those players. So whilst you would want them long term, it might just be a bit too much of a headache to get them in straight away because it might just be too many hits, basically.
Because my 2 cents on the whole free, because obviously I am free hitting this week. I've confirmed it. I've pressed the button. The way I look at it is the free hit is based on, like, apart from injuries, of course, injuries can play a big part, short-term injuries. Yeah. It's about how the fixtures of the players that you have, how bad are they, and how good are the fixtures that you're going to get in. So how much of an improvement it is on your own team. So yeah, obviously it's massively team dependent. But like a big part of why I'm free hitting this week is because I'm getting in those players from teams who we don't fully quite trust, because they're the players people don't own. Like the Villa players, the Brentford players, the other City attackers, they're not very highly owned players. So that's why I want to get them in, because they aren't the players that are going to be transferred in. And this was the week in particular. I mean, I'll obviously get more into it when we look at my free hit. But this was the week when I thought there was the perfect difference between my current players have bad fixtures, and I can get in a bunch of, there's a team playing Burnley at home, there's a team playing Wolves at home, there's a team playing Leeds at home. And it being at home, I think, is a big part of it that doesn't happen every single week. It only happens on certain weeks. So that was a particular reason why I wanted to go for this week.
Yeah, and I was listening to Let's Talk FPL Andy earlier, and he was saying because Man City rotated so much, he reckons it's going to be a lot easier to pick the players that are going to start this week. Would you agree with that, Meerkat, from your sort of team predicting perspective?
Yeah, I was very happy to see that City rotated the entire team, because I will just predict exactly the same team that was played against Newcastle. There might be some rotation still, but I think that was very much a classic Pep. I'm going to rotate the whole team and then put them back in. So yeah, I think that really increases as someone who predicts lineups, a certain edge I can potentially have is predicting correctly who's going to play, but minutes are king, and obviously the players who play a lot of minutes are the players who are likely to start. It's very rare you get a player who is suddenly in the lineup and then plays 90. Like, that doesn't usually happen. So it's usually the safer players who play a lot of minutes anyway.
Charlie, as you're a Liverpool fan, I've stuck 5 teams in here. I mean, we can talk about any team, but I just put these in because Liverpool and Man United in terms of like whether we should be looking to get rid, and the other 3 in terms of targets, not necessarily for a free hit, but just in general. I mean, Liverpool have got this much talked about good fixture run. I mean, they're right in it now. But, I mean, as a Liverpool fan, is there anyone that you would... there's a lot of chat in our group chat about Szoboszlai because Candy's got him. But he's not looked great, has he? I mean, what are your thoughts in general on the Liverpool assets?
I would avoid Szoboszlai now. I was also interested in him until we got news about Bradley being injured, because it's just very likely that even if Szoboszlai doesn't play at right back, he will fill in at right back. So I don't want to be paying that kind of money for a midfielder who's basically he's playing as a defender. And the problem with being a fullback is you aren't guaranteed to get the DEFCON points either. So I can see why people are going there, but I think it's just too difficult. I think with the rotation between Isak and Ekitike up top, Salah's incredibly expensive. Gakpo is all right, but will he play all the time? Could Ekitike play on the left potentially? McAllister's there. He doesn't really, he's not massively attacking. Gravenberch's got a ton of attacking returns, but that's obviously slowed down. The issue is, I think we get a bit too tunnel visioned on the fixtures are good, I have to get a player from that team. But FPL is not about teams. FPL is about players. Who particularly do you want from Liverpool from this run? If you can afford Salah, great. But I don't really think there's a standout player. And we have this conversation every year with City. Yes, Haaland is absolutely nailed. So, he's a brilliant option. But just because a team has good fixtures doesn't necessarily mean, I have to buy someone from that team.
Yeah. Trig, I'll come to you. We both double Man United midfield now. It's slightly different. I got Mbeumo and you got Cunha. Obviously, Cunha's injured, but even as a Mbeumo owner, I'm having a bit of buyer's regret. Do you think it's too early to panic on Man United fix? Because again, they're in a good fixture run, aren't they? At least the next 3.
Far too early. This is what they do. they have these games that are ridiculous, and then they normally bounce back for a few weeks. So I wouldn't pay too much attention to one game. I still think they're good assets. And with West Ham and Wolves coming up, I mean, that's the main reason I got Cunha in, was for those two games. I just got him a bit early. But yeah, I don't think we need to be worrying about them yet.
Reckon we've got to give them to Bournemouth, I guess, haven't we?
I think there would be a big reaction to that game. I mean, I don't know what was wrong with them. There was something not right with them.
So maybe more positives, players we maybe should be targeting. I mean, obviously, Roberto, everyone who's on free hit is going to be targeting Brentford this week because they're playing Burnley. But then Arsenal, Spurs. But then after that, Leeds, Wolves. What are your thoughts on them for non-free hitters? Could we be targeting them?
Yeah, I don't hate them, to be honest. I think with those fixtures, you would want to leave them in for the Leeds and Wolves game, so you could almost bench them away to Arsenal if you need to. Like, they might be quite good bench boost players to use because they're not too expensive, and if you put in a defender, they can just sit on your bench and be part of the bench boost. So yeah, I think some defensive options. Obviously, Thiago, who we've already discussed. The thing with Brentford is, what you're going to get from them. That they're not like an unpredictable side. They play a certain way where you can kind of expect, routes to the point. I mean, a lot of teams, to be fair, this season have been using set pieces, but Brentford is, in particular, very much that way inclined. So, the likes of Coyote, I still think is a really decent option to pick up. So yeah, I think Brentford could well be worth it. And even if you think, I have to play them away to Tottenham or at home to Bournemouth, then I don't think it's terrible, because they're definitely capable of scoring goals in those sort of matches.
Charlie, Man City, if you're not on free hit, as a team predictor, anyone we can trust apart from Haaland?
I mean, it's Pep Guardiola, isn't it? Can we really ever trust anyone? Obviously, Haaland. I think Donnarumma as well. Very likely.
Yeah.
Obviously, quite a boring pick, but he'll probably play all the time. The thing is, Pep has actually been fairly consistent recently. I mean, I track my accuracy every week, and my accuracy for Man City has been pretty solid for the last few weeks. He's not really rotated that much. There's the occasional position. Like the most rotation that's been going on right now is Cherky or Bernardo for the right wing spot. But to be honest, there's a lot of players like Doku, O'Reilly, Matthias Nunes, Guardiola, who are playing every week. They're playing every week, and they're being rested midweek, and then they're playing at the weekend. So they are great, but you will just have this lingering fear. I think Andy Let's Talk FPL puts it brilliantly. He says it all the time in his videos. Every week you're going to be checking the lineup. Every single week you're going to be checking to see if they're in the team, and that is enough of a worry to go with that player. It's good fun going for players like that, but I like them on a free hit because you just get 1 week, and the chance of them playing that 1 week is pretty good. But you can just never. I can't guarantee it. I think O'Reilly would be a standout for me because he seems to be first choice over Aït-Nouri, and Aït-Nouri is going to AFCON. So if O'Reilly gets benched in the next 9 weeks, it's only going to be once. So I think O'Reilly would be a really good focus, as well as Foden, who seems to be playing a lot of minutes recently.
Trig, last team I've got down, and then I'll just ask all of you, and if there's any other teams you want to talk about. You were quite bullish on Forest after their 3-0 win, Anderson and Morello. Now we're in midweek. Are you still thinking? Because they've got kind of mixed fixes, haven't they? Brighton, Wolves, Everton, Tottenham, a lot of greys. Is there anyone you think we could consider from them?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't bring one in this week. I think there are better players to bring in this week.
Yeah.
But overall, I saw a chart on Reddit today of the defensive contributions since a new manager came in. And I think Anderson has got them every single time. So he's obviously a very good pick. It's 5.3 million or whatever. I mean, he's going to be better than the likes of Szoboszlai and all of those sort of players. And Murillo has also been ticking up. He's becoming the player we thought he was going to be when we all picked him in game week 1. So, I think their focus will be on defence, but the fixtures aren't fantastic there, are they? We're at Everton, Tottenham, we're at Fulham, Man City. But someone like Anderson, it doesn't matter because you can he's like got a floor of 4 points, hasn't he? And he seems to be getting better and better. He's like really good in the England setup and he's a good option, I think. It's just a question of finding time to bring him in. He's one of those players that is a bit of a luxury, isn't he? A luxury transfer. I mean, someone like you with 3 transfers, ideal sort of player to bring in.
Before we sort of get out of this macro view to look at the game week, any other teams or anything you guys wanted to pull out here?
I'm happy you mentioned Forest because, I think they've really turned a bit of form. Someone like Gibbs White has really caught my eye. He is a very streaky player. He scored 3 games in a row. Has anyone talked about that? He scored 3 games in a row, and I feel like nobody's even mentioned him.
He was injured for tomorrow's game, by the way.
What, sorry?
He's injured for tomorrow's match.
Is he?
I don't know what's happened to him. Something's happened to him.
Okay, thank you for bringing that to my attention because I was considering him for my free hit team. Really considering him, yeah. But I think Forest and I'm really not too sure where else. I think Villa have seemed to have turned to a bit of form. Yeah.
They've got sort of medium fixes, haven't they?
Yeah,
I couldn't believe they were top 4. They've they've come up from nowhere because they were rubbish at the start of the season.
It's really close at the moment, but they've just like a few wins and they're straight up to 4th.
Okay, let's have a quick look at the fixtures for game week 13. And something I think is worth pointing out is the deadline is correct me if I'm wrong, lads, it's at 1:30, so we should get possibly some team news or whatever for the 1:30 deadline. So we've got we're not if you weren't here last week, we're not doing predictions anymore, but I'll just read through them and give a rough estimate of what Rob T says. So Sunderland, Bournemouth slight favourites, but very close. Brentford well out ahead to beat Burnley, as you'd expect. Double the goals expected. Man City, the highest projected goals of the week. Firm favourites against Leeds. Everton at Newcastle, pretty tight, but Rob T has Newcastle just about favourites. Spurs, just about favourites against Fulham. Palace, Man United, very close. Villa predicted, the 4th best score of the week and one of the highest of clean sheets at home to Wolves. Nottingham Forest versus Brighton. Brighton very slight favourites. Liverpool, as you'd expect, favourites to beat West Ham, although they are predicted to concede. West Ham with over 1 predicted goal. And then Chelsea Arsenal very close, but again Arsenal just ahead. Yeah, so I mean, for the free hit, Charlie, is it all City, Villa, Liverpool, Brentford? Is that basically? Yeah,
I was gonna comment because this is. I mean, I use these graphics every week. I think they're really a really great summary of the data. I have my own opinions, and then I confirm it with this. Look how many matches there are that are so close. Like Sunderland, Bournemouth, Everton, Newcastle, Palace, United, Forest, Brighton. They're really close games to call, and this is the either advantage or the risk with the free hit, depending on how you look at it. The advantage is that you can target these heavy favourites, and the odds are stacked in your favour. That you have the Man City players, the Brentford players, the Villa players. Odds are you and Liverpool as well. Odds are you smash it because you're back in the favourites. Unfortunately, because these other games are so hard to predict, it's not out of the question that your triple Palace absolutely smash out of the park. Semenyo gets a brace. Arsenal get a clean sheet against Chelsea. And then if all 3 of those things happen, the free hit looks terrible. So there's quite a lot of risk to the free hit. I looked advantageous on paper for me, which is why I've done it. And yeah, I'm stacking up on those teams, those favorites, but it could easily backfire because it's not like the players I'm getting rid of have a bad fixture. They've just got a difficult to call fixture.
Yeah. Greg, how much do you reckon we need to fear the free hitters, assuming you don't hit it?
Not a great deal. I mean, I think we always overemphasize favourites, don't we? Like we always think certain players are going to do very well. Like this week, we all thought Bumo and Fernandez and all those players are going to get big hauls, but it rarely works out that way. I mean, we look at these charts every week, and over a season, the odds kind of work out. But in an individual week, anything can happen, can't it?
Yeah.
And it normally does. I mean, these are not normally correct, are they? In a week, on an individual week, there's always something that a surprise. I mean, who'd have thought that Everton would win 1-0 at Man United? So,
I think City and Villa are pretty locked in, but it wouldn't surprise me if West Ham or Burnley pulled off some sort of an upset, even if it's just a draw. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned, but it's just the FOMO, isn't it, that Roberto was on about. But I think you should be welcoming being different from rest of the people, because we'll get to play our free hit on another week. It's equally as good.
Equally as risky as well.
Yeah, equally as risky.
Yeah.
It probably is a good week to play it this week, to be fair. So I think, like Meerkat says, the City lineup, you don't even need leaks this week, do you, really? I'd be quite happy picking 3 City, going to bed and not even staying up for the deadline, because it looks pretty clear. I mean, the ones that started in midweek were rubbish, weren't they? I mean, they lost 2-0, so it's not like they were holding their hands up to be picked this week. So it looks pretty obvious. And there are decent fixtures there, aren't there?
Yeah.
Villa, Wolves.
Roberto, looking at this, does this say to you more triple captain? Or is this tempting you into the free hit?
I'll be honest, Charlie's really tempting me towards the free hit now. Like a lot of your logic and your reasoning around, because it is that sort of, very few balls in certain sort of boxes sort of approach where the upside could be huge, but it's just whether or not this is the week for it. When I don't know, my team does probably need a big overhaul, but it's whether or not I space it out across a few weeks or do it all in this week with a free hit. Yes, I think it's definitely on the table, but I also don't know if Haaland will be fit later on. So, when you look at the sort of goal numbers there for Man City, and yes, Foden, for instance, could be a good buy this week. But will I sort of regret not doing triple captain this week based on that plum fixture? I think I might. So as tempting as the free hit is, I probably will just stick with the triple captain. But I definitely don't discourage anyone else to go for the free hit, because look, on paper it does look tempting if you can sort of get the right players in those teams.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you, FPL Discount. There's just signed up as a channel member. Thanks for that, Kieran. And do let us know if you stream later on, mate. Anything else you guys wanted to pull out of here before we go on to look at the differentials table? One thing I would say is, outside of those 4 games, the closest is there's only 0.35 predicted goals difference between Tottenham and Fulham. And apart from that, it's almost identical for every game. It is really, really close, isn't it?
I was going to say, Spurs Fulham's the interesting one, because I feel like that's been a completely untouched game in terms of players that people have and free hitters. I don't think anyone's touching that game. So that might be one which is a prime fixture for a differential. I wouldn't be surprised if Fulham get a result in that one as well. I would definitely watch out for. I mean, Anderson potentially getting a clean sheet would be painful, as I probably would have played him in this fixture.
So. Maybe Defcon. Probably more in the
well, yeah. He doesn't need a clean sheet for a haul. Apparently, we've seen it before, haven't we? Seen what was it? Rodon get 13 odd points, didn't even get a clean sheet.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
All right, let's move on.
Oh, I've got some news. Oh, Wirtz could be out until March, apparently.
March.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. This is something on Reddit.
Oh God. I wonder if he's been playing with an injury this whole
which would
time.
make Gakpo more interesting. And yeah, I don't know if that's true. I've got a lineup for Arsenal as well. Raya, Timber, Saliba, Mosquera, Lewis Skelly, Rice, Subamendi, Eza, Saka, Trossard and Marino. So they put out a pretty strong team, as you'd expect for Bayern Munich. So we've got that to look forward to at 9 o'clock. I've got the Liverpool here team here, but someone's put it up as pictures, and I don't. And I struggle to know who a few of them are. It looks like the usual suspects. Yeah, it looks like a full team for Liverpool. Chiesa on the bench, Gomez, Woodman, all those. I don't know why Isaac's on the bench as well. So Akateke's starting. I don't know why Chiesa never gets a game. He looks the best player whenever he comes on, but he never gets a start, does he? And they need to change something.
I think that's why. I think he's good as a sub. I think we've seen him start games and been fairly underwhelming. I'm not too sure how good his fitness is either, but I wouldn't mind seeing him start a game just to exactly give him a chance. Change it a bit.
I'm sure he's going to get one. I think they should actually bench Salah one week just to wake him up.
This week,
try and shock him.
This week, you heard it here first. This week.
Because he'd probably come on as a sub. He'd be raging, wouldn't he? He'd come on after 60 minutes and probably get a hat-trick or something if he did that.
Yeah, but it reminds me of when Son did that. Was it against
against Leicester?
Yeah. Came off the bench, got a hat-trick.
Yeah. Thanks to Gavin as well for signing up as a channel member. Yeah, if you know in the chat, if anyone's got a more solid source than Reddit for the Wirtz injury, do let us know if see anything. We'll move on to our new differential section. So each week we pick one differential and we get points from that differential. It has to be under 5%. We only started this last week, and like the FPL host league where a certain person is top, he seems to be top of this as well. So top of the pile with 11 points is Minter, who came in for me. And to be honest, I think I was the only person who's got a return. Roberto had McAllister with 2, Candley Esteval with 0. Did he not even come off the bench?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, okay. Andrew had Ahmed with 2. Trig Cunha obviously didn't play, and Garnacho also didn't play. So a good start for me there. Let's move on to this week's one. So I'll go to the two lads who are on, and you can defend your selections. Roberto, I'll come to you first, mate. Who have you got? Raul Jimenez away to Spurs. That's a surprising selection.
Well, it's funny because Charlie touched on it just earlier about that Tottenham Fulham game, how it's a little bit of a sort of unusual one. Not many people will have players in that game. And yeah, I think Fulham, they have had a bit of a sort of recent struggle, but I'm not convinced really by Tottenham in a sort of defensive point of view. I mean, I know that the Arsenal game was particularly damaging, but for a while, I think Tottenham have still struggled to show that solidity. And, they've had a lot of injuries as well. I mean, Dragusin might be back soon, but it doesn't fill you with lots of confidence. And I think, Jimenez, off the back of his goal against Sunderland, he's probably, along with probably Harry Wilson, their biggest threat. And I the fixtures long term aren't great. So if you were, on a free hit and you wanted a differential striker alongside Thiago and Haaland, then I think Jimenez might be a tempting option, just because again, with him, he's likely to play. You know, they haven't really got anyone else striker-wise at the moment. So, yeah, I think he's maybe a good bet for some differential points this week.
What do you think, just by the way, Roberto, of your ghost, what do you call it? An avatar?
Avatar, yeah. Yeah, it's not too bad. A little pirate
ghost, yeah.
character there, so...
Apparently, this is based on SpongeBob SquarePants, which I honestly can say these. One of our other co-hosts, one of his channel members, put these avatars together for us, Charlie. I mean, obviously you've got a meerkat, so you know what we're talking about. So I'm gonna go give a little bit behind the scenes there. So Darius, who kindly FPL Dean, who kindly puts these out for us. Text up a Monday morning. Who are we going to get? And it's first come, first served. And Trig chose Dango. What's his first?
Atara,
and then I chose Sade, and I think Trig was a bit pissed off because he didn't realise that Sade was under 5% owned. But Trig, I'm going to come to you, mate. Atara, talk us through your pick.
He's a decent option, actually. I mean,
0.8% owned.
I think he's a good option because he's $1 million cheaper than Sade, and he's more benchable. So you could buy someone like him, play him this week, and then play him in 16, 17 when the fixtures are good again, and bench him. He's pretty good. He's got a higher points per game than Sade has, and he's pretty useful, pretty lively character. So I think he's going to do well. He could well come in on a free hit for somebody this week. You've got to kind of toss up between him and Sade. There's not much in it, I think.
Yeah.
Not much in it at all.
Yeah. And I went for the Sade pick because it is surely the most obvious pick. I literally woke up to it because I was out till quite late on Sunday night and I saw that Darius had did it. And I actually signed in before I went back to sleep just to find if Sade was under 5% owned. Yeah, good extra.
Yeah, I think he's the fourth on review. I think he's the fourth highest predicted point scorer this week, isn't he?
FPL review, what's that? I don't even know what that is.
Which is probably why you picked him. But he was overall. He's in fourth. He's only behind Haaland and a couple of others for predicted points this week.
Yeah, reviews always loved him. Loved him since last season. Nightmare has got O'Reilly, who. Charlie, give us your thoughts on these three. So Nightmare's got O'Reilly, Candy, who I think was quite late in, got Vanderberg, and Darius. Any FPL D unit fans watching will not have any doubt who he's picked. Foden, his favourite FPL player of all time. What do you think of those three, mate? I mean, you're on free hit, so this is very relevant to you, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I will say, apart from Raul, these are all players who I've considered on the free hit. I only own two of them, I think, just looking at it currently. The Dango Sharda one's interesting because as someone that predicts the lineups every week, I understand that Brentford love to switch between a back four and a back five. When it's a back five, Dango doesn't play. He's the player who drops out. When it's a back four, he plays. When I've watched the games, Dango does seem like the better threat than Sharda. So if you could guarantee to me that both of them they play the whole game, Dango would be my go-to. The only issue is just that little feeling that if they play a back five, Dango doesn't play. That's happened every single time. He's never played when there's a back five. So I really like Sharda just because he's safe. He's safe. He's still got that big threat. He's that kind of player who none of us own because he came in far too expensive. So this will be my only time that I ever own him, probably, because
7 million.
Like, when else will I? But honestly, Raul is the kind of player that if I see there's a goal for Fulham notification comes up, I go, well, I guess that's Raul, right? He will be the one who scores for Fulham. So I rate it. I rate it as a differential.
There you go.
Awesome.
Just on the Verts news, apparently it's from a parody account on X. So it looks Anfield Papers. it looks like it probably isn't true. So
Craig, you're going to get us a reputation like, what was his name? Booner for...
it seems to have fooled a lot of people.
All right, so talking about free hit, I'll end this poll first. How many do you think are on free hit, lads? What percentage?
Ooh.
So you can't see it.
44.
Oh, I was going to go 40. Yeah, just 40.
Roberto's looking at the... Roberto's over.
I say...
I promise I haven't seen it. I haven't.
I'll say 30.
It's 45%.
So not a... How many?
45% yes, 55% no. Really high.
What a bunch of sheep. What a bunch of sheep we got watching us, haven't we?
Well, to be fair, the stream is called Free Hit Active, so it's probably going to attract people who are on free hit, isn't it? I mean, but you're surprised. I mean, Charlie, does that make you pleased you played the free hit? Less pleased? I guess if it goes well, it's a sign that people think it's going to go well. But if it does go well, a lot of people potentially going to profit.
Yeah, I mean, again, on the free hit always looks good on paper, right? You're never going to free hit where it looks bad. And my free hit's never gone well, apart from last season, which if Kanji's still here, he'll remember me going on about this, where I had a absolute stinker of a game week where every single player blanked, and then I had Bruno in the final game against Leicester, and I think he got an 18-pointer, and he was my captain. Ooh. And it literally took me from a massive red to a massive green from just a single player. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen in terms of captaincy because everyone's obviously going to go Haaland. But yeah, it just depends how those even matchups go. I just hope that there's not as many that go badly. Like if Palace absolutely smash United and Arsenal keep a clean sheet against Chelsea, I think that's probably curtains. It's probably going to go quite badly.
Okay.
The European games could make a difference, couldn't they? Because like Villa have got a game on the Thursday, Palace have got a game on the Thursday. So it could kind of blunt them a little bit. So I'm actually thinking Man United could do quite well this week. You know, you're probably not going to have any of them, are you, in your free hit team?
Let's move on to Charlie Meerkat's free hit team. I'm going to read this out, Charlie, then you can talk us through it, and then we'll give our thoughts. So Donnarumma at home to Leeds, Virgil away to West Ham, Cash at home to Wolves, Collins at home to Burnley, Foden at home to Man City, Salah, Rodgers, Sade, Haaland captain, obviously, Welbeck away to Nottingham Forest, and Thiago at home to Burnley. So, Charlie, maybe you can just talk us through your decisions. I'm going to pop the powder my nose, as I always do at this time of the stream, and then Roberto and Trig can give their thoughts.
Yeah, so in terms of the defense, I'll start with the defense. Looking at those odds, I mean, I had this before, we're just looking at the fixtures, but looking at the odds, Man City, Villa, Brentford. I want one defender from each of them because they're the highest odds, and I want to spread. I don't want to pile in a single defense because that can go really badly. I love Collins. I don't know what it is about him. I love Nathan Collins. He's just the kind of player that I love in FPL. He's good for the defensive contributions, but he always rocks out of a header at some point. He's home at Burnley. I really like him as a pick. The other defenders can be changed, but I want to include at least one City, one Villa. In terms of the attack, Haaland's a must. Haaland's definitely going to be there. Thiago as well, absolutely going to be there. I'm almost definitely going to have Rodgers just because that performance against Leeds was amazing. He's quite a streaky player as well. I really enjoyed owning him last season. Home at Wolves seems like nailed to play. I want to have him in that game as long as he's fit. Salah, I can afford. So I want Salah just because I can afford him as a Liverpool fan. Historically, Liverpool have had a really, really good time against West Ham. I remember a couple of 5-0 results in very recent memory. So if this is the kind of game where we could really bounce back. So I'd like Salah as that differential as well in the team. Sharda, I said it's quite close between Sharda and Dango. funds must. I might have Dango instead of Sharda just to save funds. That's a pretty close one. And then Foden, I think it's just a really, like you saw from the statistics, it's such a good attacking fixture for City. I think having another attacker as well as Haaland is quite nice to go in that fixture. So that really leaves 2 spots of contention, which is at least one defender and then potentially another attacker. So I've got Van Dijk currently because I think statistically it looks good for attacking threat. West Ham have been terrible from defending set pieces. And I know that since Nuno's come in, the goals from set pieces have gone down. They still are conceding chances from set pieces. And this looks like a kind of game that Van Dijk could get an attacking return. And it's the kind of thing where my gut's telling me it, so I don't really want to go against it. Yeah. I feel like if I go against it now and it happens, I'm going to feel really terrible. And then the last one, Welbeck is currently in the team. I had the exact money to have Welbeck, so that's currently why he's in there. I probably won't have Welbeck come the deadline because Forest have looked better. It's an away game. It's not brilliant. But yeah, there's then just that one spot. A free hit, it seems like it's quite a free hit template, right? There's a lot of players who everyone would think of with the good fixtures. I like to have at least one player that people aren't considering. So Welbeck's in my thoughts. Harvey Barnes as well, really in my thoughts. He's just in excellent form against Everton. Gibbs White, but if he's injured, then obviously I won't consider him. And then just having Munoz, because Palace seem to be doing really well. He's a player who I fear constantly. Home fixture against United. He could do really well. So I might put in another player just to balance the risk. But yeah, I don't know who that last spot's going to be. That'll probably change right up until the deadline. But I'd say 9 of these players are probably pretty...
Yeah. Do you remember what happened when everyone free hitted and Brentford were playing against Burnley last time?
Oh, I don't. Remind me.
That was the week that everyone brought in Reguilon and he got sent off. Like
I remember that well, actually.
2 minutes into the game.
I remember that well because I free hit because I barely any players, and I think everybody had their entire team blank. I got a really good green arrow because I for some reason included Robinson against Spurs. No, I didn't free hit, and I just had him in my team, and I got a green arrow even despite having about 8 players, I think, in that week, just because Reguilon got an 11. Not Reguilon. I had Reguilon. Robinson got an 11-pointer. He was the only reason I got a green arrow. So I always treasure Robinson for that one that one haul he got me.
Just ask, what's this may have come up when I was like, I apologise to the viewers, my internet, I don't know why it does it. It never does it unless I'm streaming. It disconnected for about 2 seconds. So it would have, it would have cut out for a couple of seconds there. What's the Virgil pick? You're not like, I don't know. Yeah, why Virgil?
So that I can feel guilt-free as a Liverpool fan and say that, yes, I did pick a Liverpool player because I don't want to transfer in our team because we're terrible. Set pieces, really. West Ham have been the weakest team from set pieces in the league. It's the kind of data that I collect like on a regular basis. And it's weird as a content creator where you feel like you collect data and you form opinions. You feel like you have to back yourself. You feel like you have to, preach what you promote, or whatever the phrase is. About
practice
like
what you preach.
I've got it in my head.
I prefer that. Preach what you promote. That's good.
Practice what you preach. Yeah. And I've got in my head that Van Dijk could get a header in this West Ham game because that is, there's been so many centre backs who have absolutely gone massive against West Ham, and that's Nuno's definitely strengthened them quite a bit, but they're still conceding chances from set pieces. So if there's going to be a massive haul from a defender this week, like you're telling me there's going to be a massive haul, I think Van Dijk is one of the most likely. Is my thought process.
So I've asked them to rate your. I've asked getting a quick rating. I'll leave the pile open for another 2 minutes. The minute we're on, great 22%, good 37, meh 37. What is this team? 5%.
So mostly meh is that?
Mostly, well, it's a mix. It's a mix between meh and good. sort of even.
Oh, not even treat me. Does a great free hit team exist, or is that just what is that? Are people thinking it in terms of the free hit could be better, or is in that's as good as the team looks? Don't free hit.
It'd probably be Welbeck.
Yeah.
Well, Welbeck's probably not going to be there. He just so I'll be honest. I really wanted to go for Isidore. At home to Bournemouth. I really wanted to go there. The issue is I had a couple Sunderland fans tell me there's a good chance that Broby starts instead of Isidore. And even if Isidore starts, he's going subbed very early. So I'd love to go for Isidore, but there's just a lot of risk there. And it's very feasible. It could be benched. So
Looks pretty good to me, that team.
Yeah. Well, is there any concern about the bench, Charlie, or are you very confident?
Yeah. It's as cheap as possible, and then Alderete is basically as well. Yeah, but I mean, it's in a free hit. I don't think I've ever had. Oh God, touch wood. I don't think I've ever had to use my bench during a free hit. It's obviously is like it's not really relevant, especially like the third sub's not relevant. The second one, not really. I like to have a good first sub just in case. But no, that is probably a bit of concern. I will be honest, this was made Sunday night. So I just made it, had the exact funds because I didn't want to wait in case price changed. I couldn't make this team. I will probably give it a bit more thought before the deadline, aka Welbeck will probably not be in the team.
Okay, I'll end that poll because I know we've got to get on to Roberto's team because he's got to leave at 7:30. So it's not actually too bad. It's 29%. Where's the poll gone? It's disappeared now. I think it was 29% good. I'm going to have to refresh my browser. Something like 41% good, 37% great, and right, 39% good, 29% great, 25% meh, and 7% what is this team? That's not bad, is it?
Okay, I'll take that. We'll take that.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the Ghost team. Young Roberto. So Roberto's got Pope away to Everton, Senesi away to Sunderland, Gavardio at home to Leeds. I don't know what it is. You said it's Lacroix. It's just I always want to say Lacroix. At home to Man United, Rice away to Chelsea, Semenyo obviously currently yellow flagged, Minter at home away to Forest, Gapco away to West Ham, Neto at home to Arsenal, and then Mateta and Haaland not triple captained at the moment, Roberto.
Yeah, waiting to make that decision of free hit versus triple captain. I mean, the issue, I say issue, it's not really an issue, it's a luxury, I suppose. But each week,
how much money and how many transfers?
So I've only got one free transfer, but I've got 2 million in the bank. So each week I've looked at my team and I've thought, do I need a change? Probably not. So I'll just leave it. And I've kind of felt that for a while. So this could be the week where I go a bit more aggressive and shake it up a bit. But I don't look at that and think there's too many glaring issues. I mean, maybe the bench sort of lack of depth is a bit of a concern because I'm not too confident on how well Trippier's doing and Goodmanson. But the rest of it, it's not terrible. It's just whether or not I really sort of back the free hit team, because Semenyo, like if he is fit, Sunderland is not easy away from home, but it's still not, a terrible fixture. Minter, pretty happy with that against Forest. He's been in good form. So it might not necessarily need like loads of transfers, this team, especially if I don't want to cause myself a benching headache. But I mean, I do have to make the squad stronger eventually to get me a bench boost team. So I could attack the Leeds game and go Foden in, probably for Semenyo if we get news that he's not going to play, and then think about sort of bench strength a bit later down the line for bench boost. But yeah, triple captain is probably going to be activated most likely. Do you think, Nick, that me looking at the bench now is worth it because we are running out of time for the bench boost, or would you just sort of leave it for later? Because there are quite a few changes I'd have to make before I'm sort of bench boost ready.
I'd leave it until after you get your free transfers now, probably. I think you could either be looking at taking Neto out for somebody or possibly Goodmanson and play a 4-4-2 this week. I'm not sure who the best defender to get in this week would be. But if you don't want to play the free hit, but buy a player that free hitters are having would be
Vandenberg?
my recommendation.
Yeah, possibly.
You could get a Brentford defender for Goodmanson. Not much difference in prices there. Or you could take Neto out. I don't know who you'd get for Neto in midfield.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He's around 7 million, I think. Yeah, I think he's just over that.
It's probably a good time to get rid of him.
7.1 at the moment. So yeah, he's not too bad.
Channel member Swinjoy is reflecting in a comment saying that I'm thinking. Voltemade benched and Rice playing?
At the moment, yeah. I just can't bench Rice. I just think he's been so good. Like when I watched him this season, and Voltemade has been solid, but I'm very hit and miss on Newcastle. From week to week, I watch them, and some weeks I think they look great. You know, they looked fantastic against Man City, but then other weeks they just look a little bit underwhelming.
I think I'd rather have Rice for Neto, so I'd probably bench Neto rather than Rice for Voltemade.
If you made a transfer,
I might bench both.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. I mean, if you made a transfer, Charlie, in the midfield, so let's say I bench Neto and bring in, let's say, a defender for Goodmanson. So I play a 4-4-2, like Nick was saying. I'd still be benching Voltemade, but would you replace Semenyo as that midfielder, or would you replace Neto? Do you think?
That's so difficult because I think it's so dependent on what kind of manager you are. Because Semenyo's owned by everyone, did incredibly well at the start, has actually been pretty poor recently, but the fixtures are looking really good. Neto is almost the opposite. He's a big differential. He has smashed it recently, but now the fixtures are getting quite tough. So it just really depends how you look at it. I think that's really tough, to be honest.
Yeah,
I really like Neto as a differential, especially now we can play up top. He's even better.
Part of me is thinking to sell Semenyo and then just bring in a defender for Goodmanson, because then it just gives me a stronger defense going forward, because I'm not too enthralled with that defense at the moment. So maybe that, but that would be obviously a -4 to buy a defender. So whenever you're in that territory, it is always like, oh.
Yeah, I've been in a luxurious position where it's very obvious which player is the worst in my team every week because of just an injury or a really heavy fixture swing or something like that. But yeah, this is really difficult, especially with like Rice and Neto playing each other. Like ideally, especially if you went on predicted points and stuff like that, you'll probably bench one of them. But it's really difficult to call which one.
It's got to be Neto.
Yeah,
I think Neto.
Just because Arsenal defense that elite.
Yeah, possibly. I don't hate of all the players that I would bench in that midfield. It probably is Neto.
Rice has got more routes to points.
It's not going to be this sort of game where Chelsea can go flying up the wings. Not against Arsenal. It's going to be very tough for them, I think. They'll be playing 5 holding midfielders as usual, and they're not going to let Chelsea play, and it's going to be tough.
Yeah, I was considering getting an Arsenal player, but I'd have to downgrade Neto, or if I sold Neto or Semenyo, I'd have to downgrade either of them to afford like a Timber, for instance. So
you get Eze in, that wouldn't be chasing last week's points at all, would it?
yeah. Oh, I was tempted by Foden, but he's just a little bit expensive at the moment. So it's not terrible.
Rotation as well, long term.
Yeah, I mean, for this week, it looks great, Foden, and like Doku, I really like the look of him recently, and he's a bit cheaper. Don't hate that as a move. Like I could potentially Rodgers, yeah, potentially. I could potentially do like Doku and Timber in for, let's say, Gudmundsson and Neto. That I don't hate that as a double move. So yeah, might consider doing those two, I think.
Okay, let's move on to, I think it's my team next. I've got three transfers, not much in, I can't actually remember, I think 0.3 maybe in the bank. I've got Petrovic away to Sunderland, Richards at home to Manchester United, who I believe is fit now, because I think they said it was just it wasn't a serious issue anyway. Timber away to Chelsea, Senesi away to Sunderland, Fernandes away to Crystal Palace, Semenyo obviously flagged away to Sunderland, Minter away to Forest, and Burmo, Saka, Mateta, and Haaland captain. So, I mean, Craig's going to have a go at me probably for saying this, but I'm thinking about rolling again because I don't know. I'm in a weird thing. So obviously, I'm going to end up with 5 transfers that have to be used basically by next weekend because that's game week 15, isn't it? And I'm like, well, if I'm going to make mass changes, I think I'm going to probably get rid of Richards next week, just on the off chance he gets rotated, and then hopefully go into game week 15 with, what would it be, 4 free transfers, because then I'm not just, I know I could make a couple of transfers, 1 week punts or whatever, but I'd prefer to have those 4 free transfers in game week 15 and make some serious, long-term changes that look good in the long run, rather than, just taking 1 week punts on whoever. I might end up getting rid of there's no real good defender for 14 and 15. So I may end up bringing a defender in for Richards in 14 and getting rid of him in 15. But yeah, what do you lads reckon to that plan? Charlie?
I'd do Mateta to Thiago.
I knew you were going to say it, but he's got Burnley next week. Mateta's got Burnley next week.
Yeah, that's why I like my free hit this week, is because I get in Thiago and then go straight back to Mateta with Burnley, and then I go straight.
Yeah, but
Thiago.
Gary's got so many transfers, he can actually reverse it again next week if he wants.
I could, but that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. So, what do you think of my theory of saving up as many until game week 15, Trig, and then using them there?
What are you going to do with them then?
Well, we'll probably get rid of Petrovic and Senesi. I don't know. There'll probably be some other issues by then. And
how much you got in the bank?
0.3, I think.
Okay. Is there any chance you could do Gahey to Thiago and then just slightly downgrade one of the midfielders?
Gahey to Thiago.
Yeah, that's not a bad plan. If you can. Trouble is, there's no midfielders you want to get rid of at the moment, is there?
No, not really. It looks.
You want to take a Man United one out?
No, not really. I don't know. I do feel I'm being a bit passive. But, Trig, I've been passive for the last 5 weeks, and the one time I get aggressive and take Enzo out for Mbermo, it blows up in my face. You know what I mean? So that's... I'm a bit like playing with a bomb.
You did do it before a home game to Burnley, Gary.
I know, but these things can happen, can't they? Roberto, what would you do here, mate?
Yeah, no.
I think your approach is right. You don't want to be a bit too rash with. Just looking at your team now, I don't hate a lot of it. I think most of it, considering where it was earlier in the season, I think you've definitely had a glow up with his team. And I think, maybe if you have to make a move, maybe it would be, you know, strengthening the team at, like, for instance, Richards. I don't hate it, but you could bring in another defender. You know, maybe a Man City defender, because you know they're pretty sort of, the fixtures are there, and if you don't want to remove any of your midfielders, then you can sort of find a way. He's like only
I can't get to him.
4.5 or something like that.
The other thing I thought,
He's 5 now.
the perfect thing would have been go Richards to Lacroix, but I can't afford that either because, you know, he's got the fixture. He's not going to get rotated.
Oh no, I wouldn't do Richards to Lacroix. Yeah, that's
Richards.
Yeah, I don't think
to
Richards is
O'Reilly.
that much a rotation risk, personally.
Richards to O'Reilly, you could do.
But I can't afford it,
you
Trig.
could do that.
I can't afford it.
They were the same price.
No, O'Reilly's 5, Richards is
Oh.
4.5.
Yeah, it's 4.6 now, but it's 4.5 for me. So, yeah, so I'll see how it goes.
Do nothing.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. But, I mean, obviously, if Semenyo's ruled out, I'll probably get rid of him. But other than that. So let's get on to Trig's team. Trig has got Sanchez home to Arsenal, Senesi away to Sunderland, Collins at home to Burnley. He's on 4 yellow cards, I think, Trig, Collins.
There he is.
Yeah, Virgil away to West Ham, Cunha obviously flagged away to Crystal Palace, Sarr at home to Man United, and Dye at home to Newcastle, Saka away to Chelsea, and then Fernandes, Haaland, obviously captain, and Thiago. Vice, talk us through it, Trig.
Well, I mean, I kind of figured I wasn't going to free hit. And I have a team that has a lot of the same players that free hitters are going to have. I mean, Meerkat here will have Thiago, Haaland, Collins,
Van Dijk,
Virgil
maybe.
van Dijk. And the ones that I've got that aren't on a free hit can still do quite well. I think Saka can do okay at Chelsea. 2 Man United ones. I mean, I didn't realise they were going to be so terrible last week, but I think they might bounce back. Palace have got a European game. So I'm happy enough with this where I think I don't need to free hit.
If you did a transfer,
I mean, even Lacroix. I've already done a transfer. I brought Collins in.
Oh,
Collins for
okay.
Collins for somebody or other. I can't even remember who now.
Why did you go for him rather than Van der Berg?
Because Collins is better for defensive contributions. I think last season or the season before, he didn't miss a single minute in the entire season. He's the club captain. He does always pop up with a couple of goals every season, whereas Van der Berg's got better XG stats, but he never actually seems to score. I mean, I've probably jinxed it now, and he will. But Collins is very reliable, and my strategy has been to bring in players that don't have Europe, which is why I got Cunha last week. Very unfortunate timing. Trick had 2 weeks to get himself injured, and he waited until the training session after the deadline before he did it.
Well, don't worry, Nick. I brought in Cunha game week 3 and captained him when he got injured midway through the game. That was probably where my season derailed. Was
He's
after
got a
that.
brief history for causing trouble, wasn't he? Last season he got sent off when we all got him in. And but if Cunha is injured, I'm thinking I might free hit. Although Lacroix at Man United, I'm a bit wary about benching him, to be honest. I could bench Senesi instead. I don't think there's a lot between the two. I think Sunderland could be going off a boil a little bit, couldn't they?
I don't think you should free hit just because Cunha. That's like, I don't know. I don't think you should make that much of a difference. I think the Quad's probably got as good a chance of scoring as Cunha has, to be honest. Not as high a ceiling.
I guess
but,
so.
No.
Yeah, I'm not too happy with this team, and I've had a look forward. I mean, that's why I got Collins on 4 yellows, because I'm open to free hitting any week. So whenever I have problems in my team, I just free hit. So if he does I don't mind if he gets a yellow card against Burnley, because I only want him at 16, really.
Well, I've got 2
Or
terrible
he might
fixtures
even
after,
become somebody else. Delict or somebody else. He'll be the next one that I move, probably.
So it's a good point about the 4 yellows, because I think a lot of people, won't bring in a player just because if they get a yellow card, they'll be suspended the next one. It's really not that bad, because nowadays we all have a decent first bench option, and if they get suspended for a game, it's really not that bad, because they're going to miss it. Like, it's not like like Cunha unfortunately got injured. You just bench them. They're not going to play. Like, it's not really
a nice rest.
big of a deal. Yeah, and they get a rest. So better minutes in the upcoming ones.
Yeah, and it also puts other people off bringing them in, which is good, isn't it? Because I like to differentiate myself as much as I can. Well, it's difficult this season to go too far from a template, isn't it? But the less people get in, the better, to be quite honest. I don't know how we're going to do. I mean, Burnley might score. I don't think Brentford have kept a clean sheet for like 2 years or something, have they?
Well, when Flecken was in goal, he never kept clean sheets. He was so frustrating.
No, they don't keep very many, to be fair. So I wouldn't be too surprised if Burnley did score. But it's good cover, because everybody's got a Brentford defender on free hit this week, haven't they? And I've got Thiago. I mean, I think if a lot of people had Thiago, they would be less likely to actually free hit this week, wouldn't they? Most of the people free hitting don't already have Thiago in.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't free hit with your team. I think it's just a bit like with 4 players in the United Palace game is not great, but I think
no, it isn't.
I think you're right. I think you've got a lot of players that free hit as target, and I think the players are like, apart from like Sanchez, maybe Njai with Newcastle, there's not really that many. Like, they could still do well. I think your strategy of I think 15, which you highlighted, I think that's much better for your team.
Yeah, it's very team dependent, I think, the free hit. I don't think a lot of people haven't taken that into account. They're just doing it because everybody else is. And they haven't really planned it, a lot of people, I think. I mean, you probably have, but a lot of people won't have planned it. They'll just be going, oh, yeah, I'll use it this week. And I mean, it's like an insurance policy too, because we never know what's going to happen with our teams. You could have 3 or 4 1-week injuries in a week.
That's what I mean. You got one this week, couldn't you? You could have
midweek.
Yeah, I think I'll hold on to it, mate.
Could be 2 or 3 next week.
Yeah.
Or a week after. Or Haaland could even get a little knock where he has to miss a week, and then we'll be able to make a very good differential team around Salah or somebody like that. So I think the longer you keep it, the better, really, if you can. But it's good insurance policy.
Yeah. So I'm going to skip doing a Q&A this evening, because I know Roberto needs to go. And also, me and Trig are going to be on again tomorrow night at 7:30 with the world number 3, who is currently on wildcard. So we will be having a look through his team and his season so far, and having a look at his wildcard tomorrow night. Maybe we'll do a Q&A then, Trig.
Yeah, we'll do one then, because that won't take so long, will it?
Exactly, that's exactly what I'm thinking, mate. So please do join us tomorrow night at 7:30. And obviously the FPL lock-in will be at the usual time, 7:40 this week, where we will react to the games. Lads, before we finish, first of all, Charlie, thanks so much for coming on, mate. Where can people find you? I'm sorry, I forgot. I should have put a link to your X in the description, but I mean, you've got nearly 50,000 followers already. So I'm sure they can find you quite easily.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's come out of nowhere. It's been amazing. But yeah, so I've stopped the YouTube stuff. So don't subscribe to me over there. Just on Twitter, FPL Meerkat. That's where I post. I'm not on anything else. So yeah, just on Twitter, FPL Meerkat.
FPL Meerkat. You do have a Blue Sky account because I tagged you in it, but
yes, I made one when it all became a thing, just in case. Very vainly, just in case anyone, as a joke, wanted to steal the username. I like very, very vain thing for me to do, but yeah.
Yeah, I do it. Like Andrew's the one, FPL Nightmares, that he's always like, go and register. Like, it may never come up, but like, just register it.
Just in case.
Roberto, my friend, it's been a while, but you are on. I believe you're on again in a couple of weeks with FPL Nightmare.
Yes, I believe it's on the 10th.
10th of December,
so,
You're
looking forward to that.
You're almost like merging from a ghost back into a human being on the channel. It's been great to have you on, mate. Is there anything you want to plug? I mean, so what's happening? You want to quickly tell us what's happening with the form is temporary? Shelved at the minute?
Yeah. The form is temporary is kind of sort of ground to a halt a little bit. Just it's a busy time at the moment, so not so sure whether or not it's going to carry on. Probably most likely not. But sort of it's always, you know, there's always a chance it could come back at some point. It's just busy at the moment, so sort of waiting to see it becoming a bit more of a sort of steady schedule. But yeah, but definitely you know, still follow me on X, you know, at Roberto Hollis 9, because you know, still be on there putting up my team occasionally. So yeah, I'll always sort of have that if Tifa is not around. But no, it's been great, and you know, really enjoyed tonight. So thanks again, Gary and Charlie and Nick for you know, being part of it, because it was good fun. So yeah, thanks guys.
Always pop up on here, hopefully.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I've nicked your co-host Candy now as well, haven't I? So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, Candy's done great stuff. So thanks again.
And Trig, where can we find you, mate? And are you looking forward to tomorrow night?
Trig Talks FPL. Yeah, I really am tomorrow night, because we've got someone quite unusual, isn't it? We've got someone who was actually number 1 in the world until a couple of days ago.
It was number 1 in the world going into last game, mate. Yeah.
And we're going to get to look at all the different differentials that he's had in his team since game week 1 and everything. I guess we're going to go through his team since game week 1 and work out his thought processes and all of that sort of thing. So it's going to be interesting.
We looked at it on Saturday, didn't we? And it was very, very like, basically, Charlie, he captained Welbeck, Rice, Bruno Guimaraes, and Bruno Fernandes in the last 5 weeks. Absolutely.
Bruno Guimaraes is the 5th highest scoring player of this season or something, isn't he?
Yeah. So he's a time traveler.
Quite
Nightmare supports Newcastle, but he's never mentioned Bruno Guimaraes to us, has he?
No.
Yeah, he's one of the top players in the game.
You're only Damsgaard. What?
Yeah, I reckon it's like, Charlie, I reckon you're right. It's like Back to the Future. He's gone forward in time and picked up, you know, the FPL app for this season that tells you who's going to score the highest each game.
Yeah, wow. I mean, I'm looking at his game week 10, 100 points. Captain Rice, Haaland, Gahey, Gabriel, 10 points. Picked up Murillo as well. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think, tomorrow, getting inside his head, isn't it?
It will be, yeah. Maybe we can... Charlie, do you have to go right instantly, mate? I do,
yes, I do.
No worries. Okay. Craig, maybe tomorrow night we'll pick up, we'll have a quick chat about your subs lack of points idea as well.
Oh, I'm over the subs. I didn't go down to
yeah, cheers, gents. Thank you for having me on. Been a pleasure.
Cheers so much for joining, Charlie. Cheers. And thank you, everyone, for watching. Getting confused with what I'm doing. Charlie is Oh, there we go. Oh, Charlie's still there. I thought you disappeared, mate. Thank you, everyone, and we will see you hopefully tomorrow night. Thanks, everyone.